If you keep dying in Rainbow Six Mobile, it's probably because you're playing it like COD Mobile. Trust me, I know. When I first downloaded this game, I was treating it like a standard run-and-gun shooter. I was swinging too wide, ego peeking every angle, and throwing up random wall reinforcements that literally got my own team killed. I was absolutely getting destroyed. And it wasn't my aim, it was my brain. You can't just slide cancel your way out of a bad position in Rainbow Six Mobile. You actually have to outsmart them. And forcing myself to unlearn my old habits and fix 8 specific mistakes is the only reason my squad, Marley, Levino, Metalcore, and Dabplace take 3rd place in the massive 25 creator showdown. So today, we are fixing your gameplay. Here are 8 reasons you keep losing rounds and exactly how to stop doing them. Huge thanks to Rainbow Six Mobile for sponsoring this breakdown. Let's get into the first mistake. In Rainbow Six Mobile, you can die in a matter of milliseconds. Your life is really important because having a numbers advantage is useful whether you're attacking or defending. So the worst mistake you can never make is swinging too wide, exposing your whole body. Swinging just means strafing out into the open, away from cover, so the enemy can't shoot any part of you. The mistake isn't swinging. It's swinging so wide that you have no choice but to take the gunfight with no way to defend yourself. So, what's the fix? You can still swing, but you have to make sure of 2 things. 1, the gap you're swinging through is narrow enough for you to get to cover on the other side, like a doorway on an angle, which makes the line of sight narrower. And 2, you can still go back to cover and jiggle peek. This makes sure you don't overcommit to the gunfight, and you can still retreat if you need to. That way, if you see new info, say you're outnumbered, you just fall back and look for another angle of attack. And make sure your joystick setup is right, because not having it dialed can be detrimental to your gameplay. We'll get into that later. But even if you swing correctly, there's another mistake that kills just as many players, and you're probably doing it right after you peek. Now, this is a mistake a lot of new players make in Rainbow Six Mobile. Even I make it. You know, there's a mechanic in this game called lean peeking, and for some reason, people feel way too safe as long as they're only showing a tiny part of their body or their head. But in this game, headshots are lethal. One tap to the head and you're gone. You don't have the luxury of peeking too long, or the best players will eliminate you easily. And peeking too long against another guy who's also peeking too long, that's a 50-50 gunfight. Basically, coin toss. You want the odds in your favor. So, what do? Jiggle peeks and quick lean peeks are your best friend. The lean button is key, but verticality also works. Like crouching first, then standing up to peek. Every millisecond of advantage you can get in a gunfight, you need it. If you can, pre-fire before coming out to peek so you get the shot off ahead of time. Just make sure you line it up for a sweet head tap, and make it quick so you can get back to cover. Be patient, mix up your timing, and you'll go from peeking too long to peeking too strong. Alright, you're swinging smart and peeking smart. You take a gunfight, you win it, but what do you do in the next 3 seconds? That might be costing you more rounds than anything else. This mistake, I find myself doing it a lot, and it might be costing you a lot of rounds in Rainbow Six Mobile too. I'll let you guess on this one. Oh my god. It's pushing recklessly after getting 1 kill. In this game, players play off of information. Once a gunfight goes off, everyone on the map is gonna know about it. So chances are, after you kill 1 guy, another guy is already peeking an angle, waiting for you to push through. And just like that, the advantage you created for your team is gone in a second. If you've been playing since launch like me and you haven't learned this yet, learn to be patient. After taking 1 enemy down, prepare yourself for the next possible encounter. You can wait for information before making a move, depending on the numbers, or act on the information you already have. Just make sure you maintain the advantage so you can coordinate a push with your team or support them in the ways you can with your operator. Those first 3 mistakes are all about how you fight. But what if I told you some of you are losing rounds before the fighting even starts? The worst mistake you could ever make is not fixing your settings. Whether you're a mobile FPS veteran or you're completely new to mobile gaming, Rainbow Six Mobile is a completely different beast. So fixing your settings right after the tutorial is probably a good idea. Just look at my gunfights before I nail down my settings.
1 enemy remaining. Underdog to top dog.
Let's go.
Outstanding.
I think I have pretty good settings right now. And here's a clip from the first ever Rainbow Six Mobile Creator Showdown, showing what I can do. Hopefully that convinced you enough. So let me show you the settings I currently use. First thing you have to fix is your HUD, and here's the one I use. It's a 6-finger HUD. Yes, it might be scary, but with how Rainbow Six Mobile is played, I thought 6 fingers is the only way I'm able to do everything with zero compromises. But if you guys want to see a 5-finger, 4-finger, 3-finger, even a 2-finger HUD, make sure you comment down below if you need that HUD video, and we might just make it happen. Left middle finger. I can toggle the cameras, the aim button, and the melee button. The left index finger is reserved for the fire button and the fire button only. The left thumb is in charge of the joystick, which can also be used for planting and swapping back to my primary weapon. Now for my right thumb, I use it purely to aim and to toggle drones, rappelling, breaching, and switching to my secondary weapon. Right index finger, crouch, prone, reload, toggle utilities or equipment. And finally, right middle finger, lean peek on either side, as well as toggling my operator gadgets. For my settings, I don't use the left and right double tap effect. I have ADS button behavior on hold, as well as my lean button behavior on hold. That's only because I'm using 6 fingers, and I can easily let go to toggle them off. Here are the rest of my gameplay settings. Here are my sensitivity settings, accessibility settings, audio settings, and graphics settings. If you want in-depth guides on HUD and settings, make sure you let me know in the comments. If you want to at least have decent gameplay, you need to fix your settings. And actually, I want to give props to Rainbow Six Mobile for making the game as accessible as they possibly could, adding things like left and right double tap effect to give players that can't play claw more flexibility, as well as giving us different presets for different types of players so they can select whichever one they're closest to and go from there. They have default, default alternate, simplified, pro, 3-finger claw with alternate, tablet, tablet claw with alternate, and controller alternate presets. Your settings are dialed in, but having the best HUD in the world means nothing if you're not using the tools the game gives you. And the next mistake, it's the one that separates Rainbow Six Mobile from every other mobile shooter. The next mistake most Rainbow Six Mobile players make is going the whole round without using any utilities. I'll be honest, I made this mistake too. I was treating the game like a straight up gunfight. Look at me here playing as Sledge and using my gadget 0 times. You gotta stop sleeping on utilities. Even on defense, it can be the difference between having a chance to win the round versus your whole team getting wiped inside the site. Magpies from Jaeger, jammers from Mute, and there are utilities you can still use even after you die, like Valkyrie's Black Eyes, giving your teammates intel on where the enemies are. On offense, you can use your operator's stun grenades to gain an advantage before a push. To set up for a plant, gain entry, and clear areas. Gadgets and utilities are what make Rainbow Six Mobile really fun. It can be complicated for some at first, but honestly, once you learn how to use them for just a tiny bit, you'll be eager to learn a lot more to be more effective for your team. You can even hop into training mode and explore the maps, so you can figure out the best ways to use your utilities. Utilities can win you rounds, but there's one piece of equipment every single operator has that most players completely forget about, and it's already in your loadout. Now, this is a kind of a universal mistake, and I'm no exception. Even here in Rainbow Six Mobile, forgetting my secondary weapon. This mistake hit me when I was trying to clutch a round using Mute. I felt pretty good, but I was so caught up using the shotgun that I ran to rotate instead of peeking the enemy waiting for me to swing. I could have used my secondary to suppress him or even take the fight. Secondary weapons are no joke in Rainbow Six. They might be viewed as weaker than primaries, but they can still one tap to the head with so much ease. You can even take them into full gunfights if you want. Just be mindful of your ammo. In a tight situation, instead of waiting for your gun to fully reload, just switch to your secondary. You'll be surprised, it's more capable than you think. Make sure you have the right attachments in your loadouts before you even hop on, so you have better sights, more ammo, and better secondary weapon performance. So far, we've been talking about how you fight, your mechanics, your utility, your weapons. But the next two mistakes, they're about the sight itself. And these are the ones I see the most players get wrong because they go against everything other shooters teach you. Now, this is one of the most Rainbow Six specific mistakes on this list. Reinforcing every wall you see because it feels safe, and you end up reinforcing the walls between sites. If you do that, you block your own access to defending the other site. You get stuck on one side with no way to rotate. I actually learned this from my teammates. So next time you're on the defender's side, don't reinforce all the walls. Leave one or two open between sides so your teammates can defend one side even when they're positioned on the other side. That rotation path is what lets them support you when things go wrong. And in this game, things go wrong fast. The wall you left open might be the reason your teammate gets the trade that saves the round. So leaving walls open gives your team room to move. But there's one more mistake that does the exact opposite. And almost every new player does it thinking they're helping. Now you might think this is counterintuitive, but boarding up every entrance because the enemy can't get in is a huge mistake. This traps your defense and limits your map control entirely. Instead of your teammates being able to get in and out of sight to roam, flank, and support you quickly if things go south, they have to take down barricades first and face the unknown. And if all of you get taken down inside, nobody can get back in to help. Stop doing this. Instead of barricading every key entrance, use traps, barbed wire, and utilities from your defensive operators. That way, you still feel safe, but you're not trapped. Anything that gives you info, slows down enemies when they try to enter the site, or protects you from their utilities. You want to control the site, not seal yourself inside it. There's a big difference. Those are the 8 mistakes that were holding me back in Rainbow Six Mobile. And fixing them is a big reason why we placed 3rd in the 25 creator showdown. Huge thanks again to Rainbow Six Mobile for sponsoring this video. But this video only covers what I learned in my first few weeks. If you want to see where it all started, my first 24 hours in Rainbow Six Mobile, going from knowing absolutely nothing to actually competing, that video is on your screen right now.